The United States Electoral College is a distinctive mechanism in the country's presidential election process, rooted in the Constitution and designed to balance the diverse interests of the states. Established in 1787 as part of a compromise during the Constitutional Convention, the Electoral College reflected a concern among the framers about direct democracy. At the time, they feared that a pure popular vote could lead to the manipulation of elections by factions or demagogues. As a result, they devised a system that would ensure a measured selection process, while maintaining state influence and protecting smaller states from being marginalized. Today, the Electoral College consists of 538 electors, with each state appointing a number of electors equal to its representation in Congress, 2 senators, and a number of representatives based on population. Washington, D.C., though not a state, is granted 3 electors under the 23rd Amendment. A candidate must win 270 electoral votes to secure the presidency. The process begins with the popular vote held on Election Day in November. Although the popular vote determines which electors are selected in each state, the actual election of the president happens in December, when electors meet in their respective state capitals to cast their ballots. The winner-takes-all system, used by 48 states, allocates all of a state's electoral votes to the candidate who wins the popular vote in that state. However, Maine and Nebraska employ a district-based method, assigning electoral votes based on results in individual congressional districts, with 2 additional votes awarded to the statewide winner. Historically, the Electoral College was intended to function as a deliberative body, where electors would exercise independent judgment in selecting the most qualified candidate. Alexander Hamilton, in Federalist No. 68, argued that this system would prevent the election of a president who lacked the qualifications or character for the office. However, this ideal quickly eroded as electors became pledged to specific candidates, transforming the Electoral College into more of a formality. By the 19th century, political parties had cemented their role in nominating candidates, and electors largely became bound to vote for the party's choice. The Electoral College has been at the center of controversy for much of U.S. history. One of the most contentious aspects is its potential to produce an outcome where the winner of the national popular vote does not become president. This has occurred in 5 elections: 1824, 1876, 1888, 2000, and 2016. Critics argue that this undermines the principle of one person, one vote, and leads to disproportionate influence for smaller, less populous states. Due to the minimum of 3 electors per state, less populous states like Wyoming or Vermont have greater per capita voting power than larger states like California or Texas. This structural imbalance is compounded by the winner-takes-all system, which disproportionately amplifies the votes of swing states, turning a few battleground regions into the primary focus of presidential campaigns. Another critique involves the existence of faithless electors, those who vote against their pledged candidate. Though faithless electors have been rare and never changed the outcome of an election, their presence highlights the fragility of the system. Following the 2016 election, a landmark Supreme Court case, Chiafalo v. Washington, affirmed states' rights to impose penalties on faithless electors, reinforcing the obligation of electors to adhere to their pledge. On the other hand, defenders of the Electoral College argue that it forces presidential candidates to seek broader support across the nation, preventing dominance by large urban areas or populous states. Proponents claim that it preserves federalism by ensuring that states, as individual political entities, play a significant role in national elections. This system, they argue, prevents regionalism and promotes the cohesion of a diverse nation. Throughout American history, there have been many attempts to reform or abolish the Electoral College, but none have succeeded. The most significant effort came in 1969, when a proposal for a direct national popular vote passed the House, but fell short in the Senate due to a filibuster. Today, calls for reform persist, particularly after controversial elections like 2000 and 2016, where the Electoral College diverged from the popular vote. The process of selecting electors has also evolved. Originally, many states allowed their legislatures to appoint electors directly, but by the mid-19th century, all states had transitioned to a popular vote for electors. However, Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution grants states broad authority in choosing how their electors are selected. This flexibility has allowed for the continuation of different methods, such as the district-based approach in Maine and Nebraska. While the Electoral College may seem antiquated in an era of modern democracy, it remains a cornerstone of the American electoral process. Its critics argue that it distorts representation and undermines the democratic principle of equal voting power, while its defenders maintain that it is a critical safeguard for federalism and a counterbalance to majoritarian rule. The future of the Electoral College remains uncertain. While numerous states have joined the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact, an agreement to pledge their electors to the national popular vote winner if enough states join to reach 270 electoral votes. This initiative has yet to reach the threshold for implementation. As debates continue, the Electoral College will likely remain a focal point in discussions about American democracy and electoral fairness.